April, and I'm going to show you my version of a s'mores cupcake. So the first thing that we have to do is get our oven preheated. So I'm going to turn the oven on to 350 degrees. The ingredients needed are all-purpose flour, graham cracker crumbs, baking powder, salt, butter, eggs, sugar, vanilla, milk, and chocolate chips. This cupcake is made by the creaming method. So what we're going to do is start with creaming our butter in the mixer. So I have 1 stick of butter. We'll put that into the mixer. So after your butter is light in color from being mixed in the mixer, you're going to add 5 1/4 ounces of granulated sugar. After your sugar and butter are thoroughly mixed and light and fluffy, you're going to add your eggs one at a time. Add the eggs one at a time and make sure that they're each incorporated fully before adding the next. Next, you're going to take all your dry ingredients, your flour, your graham cracker crumbs, and your salt and baking powder, and I'm going to have you mix them all together. After you've mixed your dry ingredients, I'll have you take the milk and your vanilla extract and mix them together. So now that you have all of your dry ingredients and wet ingredients in separate bowls, we're going to start by adding the dry ingredients in 3 additions and the wet ingredients in 2 additions. The last thing that we're going to add are the chocolate chips. Now that we've got our batter thoroughly mixed, we're going to put it into a piping bag and fill our cupcake tin. Place your piping bag into a tall glass, fold over the sides, and kind of push it down a little into the cup. I try and use a bigger piping bag because that makes sure that you can fit all of your batter in at once. Make sure you scrape everything down in your bowl. Get everything in there. You don't want to miss anything. So you bring up your sides, try and push your batter down towards the bottom, and you'll see you won't have anything coming out. Start squeezing it towards the bottom till it's right about at the tip. And then we start filling these cups about 3/4 of the way. Sometimes the chocolate chips get stuck, so you have to just sort of push them out a little. Next, we're going to put them into the oven. You want to make sure that you put them in the middle rack so they cook very evenly. Now we're going to keep them in there for about 20 minutes. Check them. I like to press on the tops and make sure that they're just soft to the touch, and that's when you know that they're finished. The cupcakes have been cooling for about 15 minutes, so I'm going to make the marshmallow topping that's going to go on now. It's actually just a meringue, so what it consists of are egg whites and sugar. What I like to use is vanilla sugar. A good way to use up your vanilla beans is to just put them in with a bit of sugar, and then the sugar starts to get the flavor of the vanilla in it. So I'm going to start by cracking our eggs just to get the egg whites. It's nice to use room temperature eggs. The whites will come away easier from the yolk. You need to make sure that you get no yolk in with your egg whites, because if you do, the egg whites will not get fluffy at all. So I'm going to put the egg whites into the mixing bowl, put it on the scale. So this is just regular granulated sugar, not the vanilla one yet. And we're going to use 5 1/4 ounces of this regular sugar, and then 3 1/2 ounces of the vanilla sugar. The vanilla sugar just gives it a nice flavor, makes it a little bit sweeter. So that's why I like to use the vanilla sugar. And I'm going to add some vanilla extract as well, just 1 teaspoon. So for the next part of this, we need to make sure that we move pretty quick. We want to make sure that we have our mixer ready, and we're going to have a double boiler going. So what that is just a pot of water simmering. We're going to put this bowl on top of it and continuously mix it with a whisk. As I'm waiting for the water to come to a simmer, I'm just going to mix the sugar and egg whites together just a little bit. You have to continuously mix this together. You don't want your egg whites to cook. So we're constantly whisking this while it's on the double boiler. We want to get it to about body temperature. So a good way to measure that is to just take your finger while you're mixing and put it in there. Once you start to feel a little bit of heat, that's when you know that you're ready. Just going to test it with my finger. Not quite there yet. Okay, it's ready. Keep whisking it the whole time that you're going. Get it on there. Turn it on all the way, high speed. And just let it go. You're gonna leave the mixer on until you can touch here on your mixer and it's cool. The egg whites will start to get really stiff and fluffy, but don't use them until this is cool to the touch. Okay, now that this is cool, our cupcakes are cool, we're gonna fill our piping bag and start to frost them. See, this is super stiff now. Gotta get all of it off of here. And I like to use a star tip when I'm piping for these because when you get to use the blowtorch and make them nice and toasty, it always looks really cool. So you fold over the bag, slide your hand under here, makes it a lot easier for you to fill it up. And with your hand in here, you can pinch on the spatula, pull it out cleanly, and keep all the meringue inside the piping bag. Almost there. Okay. So shake it down a little, even though this isn't going to really go anywhere. It's pretty thick. Squeeze it down in the bag towards the top. Try not to have any air in here. And twist the top. Squeeze it until it's coming out just to the tip of the piping bag. Okay, so I'm going to start to pipe onto the top. How I like to do it is start with just a small bit in the center and slowly come around and pull off on the top. So, put a little bit in the middle, a little bit of pressure on the bag, come around, and just swoop off on the top. Now that we're done piping on the cupcakes, we get to the fun part and use the torch so that we can toast all of the marshmallow on the cupcakes. When you're using the torch, make sure that you're really careful and that you don't burn yourself. So, just gonna light this. And I find it easiest to hold the cupcake in your hand. And you're gonna continually rotate it while you have the flame going on it. It may catch on fire for a few seconds. Just blow it out. It's not that big of a deal. This is why I like to use the star tip when I do it, because you can see it outlines the edges really nicely. Okay, now for the finishing touch on the top, just take a chocolate bar, break it into pieces, and just put that right on top. And there you have it. These are my s'mores cupcakes. If you like what you've seen or what you've made at home, please vote for me, April, for the Instructables Cupcake Contest on Instructables.com. Thank you.